You may have noticed some construction up at Pleasant Hill and I-85, and that's on the new diverging diamond interchange, and we're very excited about that. But I wanted to give just a quick update. First, remind those of you that may not be familiar with what a CID is. We are a self-taxing district. We work in partnership with our friends in the U.S. government, the state government, county government, and other local governments. But we are here where the property owners, the commercial property owners, voluntarily said we will self-tax ourselves to organize a CID. We're one of now 5 CIDs here in Gwinnett County, one of about 17 in the metro Atlanta area, and one of thousands across the United States. We are set up and governed by a board, but we have a mission. Our mission is to enhance the economic vitality of the Gwinnett Place area, to keep it strong financially for the investors in the area, and to make this the center and keep this the center of commercial activity in Gwinnett County. But we have a board. In addition to Tim and James, you'll see some of the other board members here. Many of them are owners or representatives of large properties, from Gwinnett Place Mall, Mall Corners, the new Gwinnett Place Sonesta, and others. And these are the individuals that Glenn and I report to on a daily basis. But wanted to give you some information about the diverging diamond interchange. Since the CID was formed over 6 years ago, we've been looking at ways that we can improve traffic flow, traffic mobility in the area. I've done a series of studies on that, and several of them kept pointing back to the congestion point there at Pleasant Hill and I-85. People trying to get across Interstate 85 that has historically been a major congestion point along Pleasant Hill Road. And when we do surveys and ask people about coming back into the greater Gwinnett Place area, the one thing they kept saying was traffic congestion is one of the things that keeps us from going back to Gwinnett Place. So of course our board members who are property owners wanted to do things differently, make it so that people want to continue to come back to Gwinnett Place. So several years ago we began working with our partners at Gwinnett County DOT on looking at possible solutions to improving that traffic flow there at Pleasant Hill and Interstate 85. Looked at several different scenarios, did several different studies, looked at possibly replacing the bridge, and that would be a $58.5 million investment. Well, money's a little tight for everybody right now, so what can we do innovatively that would allow us to make improvements to traffic service up and down Pleasant Hill, but also can be done very cost effectively? And then actually it was the people at Gwinnett DOT came up with the idea of the diverging diamond interchange. This is a configuration that's been used successfully in Europe since the 1970s. Several have been built here in the United States. The first one opened in Springfield, Missouri several years ago, has been very successful, and since that time there's probably 10 or 15 diverging diamond interchanges, DDIs, that have been constructed in the United States or are under construction today. So this is a known configuration that's working in other communities around the globe. But the good thing about this is that it increases capacity, increases the mobility, the traffic flow at that intersection. We anticipate it will decrease delay times by over 25%, and it will do so cost effectively. As I said, we're able to construct this for $4.2 million versus $58.5 million. It will improve the level of service out there for the next 10 plus years, and it's going to do so to make the area safer for pedestrians and for motorists alike. Studies that have been done for other DDIs report in some cases up to a 50% reduction in the number of accidents that have occurred at those DDIs. So again, it's going to move traffic more efficiently, and it's going to be a safer design than what is currently out there. Right now we are under construction. If you by chance came along Pleasant Hill Road, you saw some orange barrels, some guys out in hard hats, and we have been under construction since last fall. We will soon be approaching a major milestone, and that's why we wanted to have members of the media join us today to let you know about what's going to be occurring in the next couple of weeks. But if I can, and you can see some images here, this is what the DDI will look like when it is completed later this fall, probably October, November timeframe, when everything is completed with landscaping and some of the other enhancements. And I wanted to show you an animation of actually how this will work, because you will drive on the opposite side of the roadway. And as you can see, here's what the DDI will look like. The vehicles will begin transferring to the opposite side of the roadway. Tim, if you look behind there, maybe turn off the lights for a second, behind the door here. Sorry, behind the door. And this is actually, as you drive, how it will go across the bridge. As you can see, the cars come up and then they start to switch over to the opposite side of the roadway, which is different from what we have today. What this allows is the efficiency of the continuous left onto the interstate, and in addition, we'll be able to open up another through lane going across Pleasant Hill Road. And Alan and Lewis, feel free to jump in here, anything that I may say that needs to be corrected. You can also see the pedestrians will be in the center there, and then you can see cars beginning to either go straight across or turn left onto the interstate. And then you will switch back over as you make that transition to the normal side, I guess you can say, of the roadway. And again, I mentioned this is a partnership between Gwinnett County DOT and the CID. The DOT is putting the majority of funding toward this project as far as the improvements to the bridge itself, and then the CID, through SPLOST, Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, that was approved by the voters. And then also the CID is putting funding toward this on the enhancements, things such as the fencing, the landscaping, things of that nature.
And Joe, they can see that. They can see this online, can't they?
Yes, yes. If you go to either our website, GwinnettPlaceCID.com, or GwinnettDDI.com, all the information we'll be sharing with you, as well as the information at your place setting there, are available electronically. Lewis, were you saying something?
Since you have the diagram up,
yes,
Joe, I just wanted to explain a few of the differences with the new configuration and the old configuration. As Joe mentioned, currently when you go, this is the Pleasant Hill Bridge. You can see the bridge, and then this is Interstate 85. Over here is Best Buy and the cemetery, just to get you familiar with the area. Over here is Gwinnett Place Mall. Currently, if you're going across the bridge, then everyone knows what you do. You drive on the right side of the road, you go across the bridge, you stay on the right side. But with this configuration, you're going to cross over to the left side of the road as you go across the bridge. So you'll come to a signal that will stop traffic, allow you to cross over, and then here, if you're going straight through, you cross back. Now you might say, why do I do that? What's the benefit of crossing over to the opposite side of the bridge? Well, the benefit in that is that, let me go back to, if you're crossing over today, and let's say you need to make a left-hand turn to get onto the interstate. Let's say you're going by Best Buy and you need to go 85 south. If you're leaving here, leaving this building today, and you needed to go 85 south and you took Pleasant Hill to get there, right now you would stop at the traffic signal by the Best Buy, and you'd get in your left-hand lane, make the turn, and then you would come up to the next signal and you'd have to stop again to make your turn. So you really have to make two stops to make that turn, because they're two signalized intersections. With the diverging diamond interchange, you still have the one signal, but after you get through that signal, you can continue on without having to make that second stop. You won't have to go through a second signal. You can free flow left onto the interstate. So that allows the traffic that wants to go make a left onto the interstate a quicker method of making that movement, because they don't have to stop at the second intersection. Now, the other part of that, though, is by taking those left turns out of that second signal, we're able to use that signal time and give more signal time to the through traffic. So that's how we're able to improve the movement of the through traffic, because we're able to take that left turn out of that signal. So that is the basic principle behind the DDI. Pleasant Hill Road has about 60,000 vehicles on it a day. So you can imagine how just getting a few seconds out of a signal over and over and over again adds up greatly over time. Another thing about it is that you've probably seen semis come off the interstate and need to make a left-hand turn onto that Pleasant Hill Road bridge, whether they're coming 85 south or coming 85 north. They get off of the bridge, and then they'll try to make the turn, and they'll stop, and it really bottlenecks the traffic there. With the DDI in place, that left-hand movement by the semi no longer takes up the whole intersection. So the semi is able to make the turn into the travel lanes that they need to be into to make across the bridge. One other thing to mention about the diverging diamond interchange is that in the news recently there have been quite a few instances of traffic traveling the wrong way on the interstate, getting on the interstate going the wrong way. And it's much more difficult to make that wrong way movement in a diverging diamond than it is with a conventional intersection. The reason for that is that we will place islands directing traffic. They're directional flow islands to direct the traffic in the way that it needs to go. And so if you tried to go the opposite way onto the interstate, then you would have to actually make a U-turn to get there. So that's another safety aspect of the diverging diamond I'd like to point out. Last thing, as Joe was mentioning, we will move pedestrians. Pedestrian traffic will move to the center of the bridge. Currently, there are sidewalks along the edge of the bridge, and if you're walking that sidewalk, I don't know if you've ever walked across 85 on that Pleasant Hill Road Bridge, but you'll see that there's traffic below you on 85 with no separation, there's no fence there. And then on the other side of you, you have traffic on Pleasant Hill Road. With this, you'll move to the middle, you'll have barrier separation to get there, there will be new pedestrian facilities with countdown pedestrian heads to protect the pedestrian traffic to move to the middle, and then there will be a small wall to separate the pedestrians from the traffic as they cross to increase pedestrian safety. And sorry to jump in, Joe, but just wanted to add a few things there.
The look of the bridge is going to be a little different, and again, these are the enhancements I mentioned the CID is paying for. Not only is this going to be a way to move traffic more efficiently, but we see it as a CID as a symbol for the resurgence of the greater Gwinnett Place area, to let people know there are positive things happening here at Gwinnett Place. But we are going to have a very big milestone that's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks. The weekend of June the 7th, that Friday evening at about 9 p.m., you will no longer be able to cross the bridge. We'll be shutting the bridge down. There'll be the bridge closure that Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, reopening early by 5 a.m. Monday morning. And you'll see a press release from Gwinnett County at your place setting that describes what's going to be occurring on that weekend. And we need your help to get information out to your readers about what's going to be occurring, because there will be major traffic congestion in the area because of this. There have been various detour routes that have been established. We'll have directional signs in the area directing motorists to the various detour routes. That information is also available in your packet and available on the two websites if you need something to share with in your publication. You will still be able to get access to Interstate 85 to and from, but you will not be able to go physically across the bridge. And Alan Lewis, do you want to describe anything about what will actually be happening during that crossover and why we need to close the bridge during that weekend, about what will be occurring?
I guess the big event or the big activity during that weekend is actually restriping the bridge. Directing people instead of to stay on the right side to the left of the bridge. So we'll have to go in and obliterate all the old striping, put new striping in. While the bridge is closed, we're going to take advantage of that time and do some additional work, including constructing part of these islands that will be landscaped later, that will hold pedestrians as they cross the bridge. And that also really direct people to the left side of the bridge. We'll begin work on the pedestrian crossing in the center of the bridge over the weekend, but that work will take several weeks, so we won't be able to complete it. We'll have most of the new traffic signals in place and the signal heads up, but there is some final signal work that will be done over the weekend, and then the signals will be activated as we open the new configurations of traffic. I do want to point out that the work is not completed at the end of this weekend. We've still got several months of work over July, August, and September, and even into the late fall to get the last landscaping in place. So We ask everybody to just bear with us as we get the work done, and just be careful as you drive through this area, because we'll have a lot of workers out doing their job, and we appreciate everybody's caution as they move through the interchange.
And also, if you want to actually experience a diverging diamond interchange already in play, already in use, if you've been over to Ashford Dunwoody at 285 near Perimeter Mall, they opened up their diverging diamond interchange actually about a year or so ago. So that has been very successful over there. We've taken some lessons learned on what maybe some things that could be improved a little bit. We've incorporated those ideas into this as well. And we met with them several times over the past year. So it's been very successful there. It has moved traffic flow. It has reduced the number of accidents in that area. They are very happy with the outcome, the end results of that diverging diamond interchange there. So if that may be something you want to mention to your reporters as well. You've got my card there. I know Heather and several of the other county officials may have given you their. The CID, the property owners, the businesses that form the CID, we are paying for the enhancements, the things like the fencing, the landscaping, things of those that type of nature. So it truly is a partnership. In addition, we did get some funding from the State Road and Tollway Authority through a grant last year as well. So we'll be utilizing those funds also.
And the county SPLOST dollars come from the 2009 SPLOST. This project and the Jimmy Carter Boulevard Diverging Diamond were considered by a citizens committee and recommended to our Board of Commissioners by that group of citizens.
And really the beauty of the SPLOST, which has been in place since the late 80s, is it's 1 penny on sales tax, and there's been estimates previously by our finance group that really about 30% of that money is generated by non-county residents shopping inside Gwinnett County. So if you look at it that way, it's about 35% of the people paying for our road improvements don't even live inside the county. So it's been worked out very well for us.
So the project costs about $4.2 million.
The construction cost.
Yeah. How much of it would be SPLOST money vis-a-vis CID?
Percentage was
Right. I think the contribution from the CID and CERTA will total approximately $1 million, and then the remaining funding is through the SPLOST. And I would like to point out one other thing. As we approach the reopening of the bridge and the crossover Sunday night or Monday morning, we're hoping to give everyone in the media an advance notice of when that will happen, about 3 hours prior to the opening. And as we move through the weekend, we should get a better idea of when we're going to be able to hit that opening. But we're very confident that it'll happen prior to that 5 a.m. on Monday, so it'll all be in place prior to rush hour Monday morning.
And during that opening, we will have a media area at the day's end there at Pleasant Hill and 85. So we'll have a location over there where DOT officials and others will be available to answer any media questions.
And I'll leave some cards too if you do need to get in touch with Gwinnett DOT. Feel free to contact us.
We will have all your contact information. I mean, make sure we do that, so
yes.
We'll notify you as well.
And that's actually one thing that we're doing. As part of that, there will be 8 lights that should be operational in time for crossover on the bridge itself. And then through the remaining time between when we do crossover and when it's finished later this fall, we will have lighting, pedestrian lighting and roadway lighting from Breckenridge to the bridge. Then there will be lighting on the bridge, and then from the bridge over to Venture Drive. So that will be very well lit going into the future. That was one thing that, again, I think we all agreed that lighting, signage, those are very key aspects to have a successful project.
And I think that's a good example of the partnership we have with the CID. The county is providing a good bit of the capital cost to install some of the lighting, but the CID has agreed to pick up the power cost and the maintenance costs as we move ahead with it.
One is traffic mobility and the safety of the area. Another is just the investment that's being made back into the area. This is one of several projects that we're working with the county on to continue to bring investment back into this area to improve the infrastructure. So that's a positive in itself, that there's more funding coming back into this area. Also, as I mentioned, just how the bridge is going to look, the landscaping, the lighting, the fence, that's going to give a whole new feel to the area, that there's something exciting going on. There's successful businesses here. And that's why we've done things like landscaping and other things in the area, is to let people know this is different from what it was, say, maybe 5-10 years ago. This is an exciting, successful business community. So that's what we're excited about as a CID, is to have just that synergy that's going to come from this new project and the other projects that are slated.
You know, because we invested back into the community, if you see all the constructions that's been going on, such as the sidewalk improvements, the road improvements that's been going on within the CID district, it all benefits the business owners at the end of the day. The bridge, you know, we're very excited about the bridge because that is what we feel is the gateway. When you drive on 85, you're going to be seeing a brand new bridge. It's not just a regular, you know, with the concrete little wall. We're actually, you know, we went out and we actually did some design studies and feasibility studies. What will really impact when you're driving into 85 and driving into Pleasant Hill. So even if you pass by it the first time, you're always going to pass by it, you know, where a lot of the Asian Americans live in Duluth and Swanee. You're going to be passing underneath that bridge every day, and you're going to see a brand new feel. So we do want to revive the community. We want to revive the area, at least from the first image that you come in, or the first impression that you come in with, yes, into our CID area.
And again, this design actually was pulled together. We brought in business leaders, elected officials, homeowners. When was that, about? Was it 2 years ago, y'all? A year and a half or so ago that we did that, had a series of meetings. What do you want this to look like? Because we want it to look like something different. We don't want to look like just another bridge you see on the interstate. We want this to stand out as, wow, there's something exciting happening in this area.
And truly that, and even those meetings were really bipartisan. I mean, it was across not just the Americans, it was a lot of the Asian Americans that they come out, so a lot of the business leaders that come out. So it was really truly an effort from the entire community that came out and did this. So this is not just, you know, it's not just for one community at all.
Mm-hmm.